The country's vaccination timeline, it's in disarray this morning following a late-night press conference where the government shelved plans to roll out the AstraZeneca jab to millions of people under the age of 50. The locally manufactured vaccine was slated to form the centrepiece of Australia's efforts, but has faced increased scrutiny over extremely rare cases of blood clots in those receiving it.
The government is now recommending the Pfizer vaccine be given to young people instead, with urgent attempts to secure more doses to be top of the agenda at today's National Cabinet meeting. We're going to speak to one of the country's preeminent infectious diseases experts, Sharon Lewin, in just a second. But first, here's the Prime Minister.
Over the weekend, there will be a recalibration of how the program will need to be adjusted to take into account the decision the government has taken tonight to accept those recommendations from AstraZeneca. There are, of course, Pfizer vaccines. They're in Australia, and we are getting a regular supply of those, and they can be prioritised against the individuals for whom that will be the more appropriate vaccine for them.
That was the Prime Minister at an evening press conference announcing the news in regards to AstraZeneca. Sharon Lewin, the director at the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity, joins us now. Good morning. Thanks for coming on News Breakfast.
Yeah, good morning, Lisa. Pleasure to do it.
Well, there were a few choices here that the government could have taken. The UK had led the way, making the recommendation for people under 30. We've gone with the under 50s. Was it the right decision as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think it's the right decision. These are really difficult decisions because you're weighing up the risk of an extremely small adverse event, but very important because perfectly healthy people are being vaccinated, against the risk of COVID. And that is going to be variable in every country. So you've seen different decisions in the UK to Europe to what we've made here. And that balance has been made on the risk of COVID and its effect on mortality in our population in Australia, which is what led to that cut-off of 50, but a very difficult decision to make.
What's going to do to our rollout and the timeline?
Well, it will change things. So I think it's important to keep in mind that in phase 1B, which is where we are now, and 1A, a big chunk of people, the elderly, over 70 and over 80, over age 55 for Indigenous people. Many of the frontline healthcare workers are, of course, under the age of 50. And I think the plans to redirect Pfizer to the under 50s is a very good one, but it will certainly slow things down. But these things have to be done. We have to ensure that a vaccine program is safe. There are always small risks, and this risk is really small. These have to be done. And I think people should be reassured that the government is actually responding to new data, and we will be getting new data. It's a difficult thing to deal with and understand, but we will be getting new data on all these vaccines as the rollouts progress.
Lots of suggestions about whether Australia has put too many eggs in, well, not enough eggs in one basket, that we've been left a bit stranded with this, given what's happened.
Well, we actually have a number of choices here. We do have Pfizer and 20 million doses. Of course, that will come over 2021. We don't have them right now. We will have Novavax, I hope, coming on board soon, at the time that really most young people will be vaccinated, which is after, in phase 2 and beyond. And we've actually backed a vaccine that we could manufacture. And the local manufacturing capacity is really important, as we've seen with difficulties in moving vaccines around the world. Now, this vaccine is very good. It has a really high efficacy in preventing severe disease. I, in fact, got my AstraZeneca vaccine yesterday. How's that for timing? But I am over 50, but I did get my vaccine yesterday. I feel completely fine today.
Yeah, we're just showing a photo of it, actually, Sharon Lewin. So the timing, of course, you feel fine. You're going to have the second one, no doubt, given your confidence in it.
Well, actually, the recommendations from AstraZeneca, at the Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation, which is where this information is being, where these decisions are being made, have said, and we do know that the chance of this rare mix of blood clots and loss of platelets occurs after the first vaccine. So the recommendation is if you've had your vaccine and you are under 50, then it's fine to get your second vaccine.
Sharon Lewin, I just want to get to a heart of a concern for a lot of people, that we're being told that we're in this situation because we've done so well and Australia is almost COVID-free. But the reality is we've got international visitors. COVID can get back out into society. We are not going to have as many people vaccinated as other countries have, and that that is going to leave us vulnerable, that it will be in a situation where we're not in as good a position as other countries are who have raced through their vaccination numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it will mean that we'll need to keep some of these restrictions going. I mean, we have got a system in place of limiting travel in and out, which is a great inconvenience for many people, I know. A quarantine program that ensures that we limit any chance of transmission into the community. That will have to continue.
So it does mean life is going to change as we know it. This decision is not just about the health aspect. It means that we are going to be under tighter restrictions for a longer period of time.
Well, these restrictions will change. They will be dependent on a significant number of people being vaccinated. And they will also depend on what's happening around the world, of course, because we've had to be very strict over the last 13 months as we've seen COVID, raging in the countries around us. So the overall reduction of COVID in the whole world is also going to have a beneficial effect on us too. Now, you do get a very good immune response, even from the first dose of AstraZeneca, as well as Pfizer. Pfizer, the separation is only 3 weeks. AstraZeneca is 12 weeks. You do get a very good response. So getting that first dose into as many Australians as quickly as we can is important. And once these other vaccines come online, such as Novavax, potentially Johnson & Johnson, there'll be options for younger people as well.
Sharon Lewin, always great to have your insight. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks very much, Lisa.